take on the world champion Dallas Cowboys. Hi everyone, and welcome to KCAL TV's coverage of Los Angeles Raider preseason football. I'm Rich Morano, along with legendary former NFL coach Hank Stram. Hank, you were with the Raiders in their opener last week over the Denver Broncos in Barcelona. What were your impressions?
Well, I thought it was a very good game for the Raiders because I think they had a chance to play almost everybody on the team. They won the game, and they got through the game without getting anybody hurt, and that's the most important thing of all.
Well, the Raiders finished very strong last season, then bolstered their team with a number of free agents, Hank. Does this team have championship potential?
Yes, I think it does. No question about that. The challenge that they're going to have this year is going to be to exercise the true meaning of that word and fulfill the promise of that potential.
Well, we will see if they can start meeting that challenge here tonight against the world champion Dallas Cowboys. Good test. It's the Raiders and the Cowboys next on KCAL. We're live at Texas Stadium in Dallas, where a sellout crowd is on hand. Thunder showers here earlier today in Dallas, but it's cleared up now. Tonight's preseason game between the Raiders and Cowboys is being simulcast in Spanish. Spanish-speaking viewers who have a television set that is equipped with a SAP channel may tune in and hear all the action called by our broadcast partners Fernando Paramo and Ricardo Jimenez. All right, we are ready now for the kickoff and the start of Game 2 for the preseason. The Raiders last week defeating Denver 25-22. Dallas over Minnesota 17-9. The kick by Jeff Jager off that new 1-inch tee is fielded by Kevin Williams, who's coming up the left side to return across the 20. Finds a lane, dodges a man, cuts outside. Jager missed him, and he's all the way up to the 35-yard line. Nice return by Kevin Williams, a 31-yard return, when he completed 69% of his passes for 3,100 yards. And look at that touchdown to interception ratio, 15 TDs and only 6 interceptions. Tim Daniels splits down wide to the right. Williams is wide left. Out of the I formation, Lincoln Coleman gets the handoff from Aikman, and he's up to the 35-yard line. Chester McLaughlin making the stop, and McLaughlin coming off a terrific season last year. Take a look now at the opening lineup for Dallas in the backfield. Lincoln Coleman and Darryl Johnston. The receivers Williams and Jackson, and tight end is Jay Novacek. On the offensive line, 2-A. Newton, Hellestray at center. There's a former Raider. Derek Kennard and Eric Williams on the right side. 2nd and 9. Aikman, quick pass. Novacek's got it. Brought down by Hoskins. Short of the first down, and a flag across the way.
And that's the thing they do so well. They like to dink and dunk. They move that ball down the field very carefully. But in the event that they see man-for-man coverage, they'll go up on top with it whenever they can.
The penalty signaled against the Raiders, an offside penalty. The referee tonight is Bob Boylston.
Offside, defense, number 48, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Out for the offside. Aikman on 2nd down. Quick hitter to Darryl Johnston. Greg Biekert makes the tackle for Los Angeles. For the Raiders tonight, starting on the defensive line, Andre Bruce, Chester McLaughlin, and Nolan Harrison inside. And at the right defensive end, Anthony Smith. Linebackers, Aaron Wallace, Greg Biekert, and Winston Moss. And in the defensive secondary for Los Angeles, Terry McDaniel and Lionel Washington at the corners, Eddie Anderson and Derek Hoskins, the safeties. Brings up a 3rd and just over a yard to go. They split the backs this time and send Johnston in motion to the right. Quick pass complete to Kevin Williams. Running room across the 40. Out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Kevin Williams on a 36-yard pickup. And there's that quick hitter again. Hank, very quick pass.
See, he gets jammed pretty good at the line of scrimmage, but the ball is right out in front, right at the numbers like it had to be thrown, and of course they don't make the play, make the tackle, and he goes down the field for a big first down. There you see it again. Good move to the inside, back to the outside, going down the sideline with the ball away from pressure, finally knocked out of bounds, but it's a first down for the Cowboys.
At the 21-yard line. Aikman, who was 6 of 6 last week, can't get away this time. Chester McLaughlin bringing him down. He went back to pass, looked as though things weren't opening up for him, but there was nowhere for Aikman to go.
And the great thing about it is McLaughlin got good penetration, which you have to have, especially on a play-action pass. That was intended to be a play-action pass with a good fake, but he got the penetration in time and made the play.
As soon as he looked up, there was McLaughlin in his face. Anthony Smith was coming too. Loss of 5 on the play. 2nd and 15 now from the 26. Backs off set. Johnston in motion. Aikman over the middle has a completion to Kevin Williams, and Winston Moss is right there to wrap him up and send him down to the artificial turf here at Texas Stadium.
That's a great thing about that offense. They like to travel slowly. They'll take what they can get, move the chains, you know, and then, as I mentioned earlier, when they get an opportunity, they're going to try to go up on top.
I guess that's why Aikman was up over 69% completion last year.
That's hard to do in a pregame warm-up.
3rd and 12 now for Dallas. They set up Novacek down the backfield to help with the blocking this time, and Aikman's going down the right side. It's batted in the air and nearly picked off by Terry McDaniel. He tried to go on the right side to Tim Daniel, and McDaniel with a nice play and nearly had an interception.
That was a good play by McDaniels. And look at the left tackle, 2-A. Look at, he's got the opportunity to get back a little deeper into the off the line of scrimmage to help himself with pass protection.
Defense,
and there was a great illustration there with the new rule.
Repeat 3rd down.
Aikman finding Novacek, but he's wrapped up immediately. Nice play by the Raiders. Mike Jones, 4th-year player out of Missouri. Was with the Raiders last year, played in all 16 games. In fact, he started a couple. Big hitter. And he wrapped up Novacek there. Now the question is, did he have enough for a first down? Aikman was perfect last week. 6 of 6. They decided they'd seen enough of him at that point, and they let Rodney Peete and Jason Garrett go the rest of the way.
Well, you know, they want to see him probably as much as they can in the first quarter. And then, of course, they'll get the hook and get him out of the game and make sure that he stays healthy. And they don't want to take a chance of getting the guy hurt.
Here's a measurement now. It's a little bit short. Ball's just outside the 11-yard line. Fans, of course, as usual, screaming to go for it. And Barry Switzer agrees. Syracuse, let's see if he does, in fact, get the ball. Nope, it's Lincoln Coleman who dives up over the top, stretches the ball forward, and has the first down.
That was close. They got good penetration up front that time. It was a close call, but they didn't make the first down.
Aaron Wallace making the stop. Wallace was injured last week, but well enough now to play this week. Of course, Emmitt Smith not playing tonight, being held out for the 2nd consecutive week. Lincoln Coleman getting an opportunity to get some work. They're just holding Emmitt Smith out for precautionary reasons, though.
Well, the other thing about it is Coleman, he's pumped up a little bit. They're concerned about his overweight, but he's still a very good player.
Aikman looking in the end zone, has a man. It's Williams. It's too high. Can't get it. Eddie Anderson over there to help out on the coverage. Williams trying to get open in the corner. Face there at the last minute, but had the pass been better, it might have been a touchdown. Now 2nd and 10 for Dallas. Here's Lincoln Coleman. Nice play by Greg Beekert, who drove in there to force him down behind the line of scrimmage. Beekert, the 2nd-year linebacker out of Colorado, coming up with a big play to stop Lincoln Coleman.
Yes, very good defense right here, we say. Good penetration. Look at Beekert right in the gap over the left guard and left tackle. Gets the penetration and makes the play. Terrific play.
Loss of a yard on the play. 3rd down now on 11. And McLaughlin came across the line. Now, was he drawn? That's the question. We mentioned Emmitt Smith not playing tonight, just as a precautionary measure.
Penalty, still 3rd down.
It'll be the offside penalty against the Raiders. Flamboyant type.
Come on, man.
Now it's 3rd and 6 for the Dallas Cowboys. Aikman punts, has an opening. He'll try to get there himself. He does. Touchdown, Dallas. Six-yard run for Troy Aikman.
They get good pressure on the outside, but watch him go beyond the quarterback. He dodges somebody right up the middle. I couldn't tell who it was. He sees the opportunity to see the cavity, gets into the open area, and with a very determined effort by Aikman, goes in for the touchdown.
And now Dallas to try the point after, a 1 point after. A kicker who, believe it or not, his name is Richie Cunningham. And it's happy days for Richie right now as he kicks it through to give the Dallas Cowboys a 7-0 lead. 9:22 to go in the first quarter. The Cowboys up by a touchdown. 5-yard drive for the Dallas Cowboys. Troy Aikman, who was 3 of 4 passing on the drive, goes the final 6 yards himself for the touchdown. And now Cunningham to kick off for Dallas. Drives this one high and fairly deep under the new rules. Take it by Rocket Ismail. Straight up the middle, and here comes the Rocket. Watch out, he's got an opening across the 40. He's up to midfield before he's driven out of bounds. A 49-yard return, and it looks to me as though Rocket Ismail is a guy, Hank, who can give the Raiders great field position all year long.
Well, they should be able to. That's like a boomerang kick. You know, get it down there in a hurry on that 1HT. He got it back, and a great thing about that run, great thing about the run, he was very decisive, no hesitation whatsoever. He had a big hole, made a decision, got some blocks to the outside, carried the ball in the wrong arm, then he switched it so he can get some help with the right arm. Did a fantastic job of bringing the ball back with good field position for the Raiders.
It was the kicker, Cunningham, who slowed him down, and then Tony Richardson made the stop on him. And now the Raiders have wonderful field position to start their opening drive. 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line. Jeff Hostetler at quarterback, and a great season for the Raiders last year. Fakes the handoff to Ty Montgomery. Hostetler airing it out. Going deep for Timmy Brown. Overthrow. Kevin Smith back defensively, and
well, that's a good call. The first play of the game, they try to go up on top. They started the game last week and threw a strike 75 yards for a touchdown. But you throw the ball deep on the first play, I guarantee you those defensive backs are doing a little backstroke, and they're getting deeper and deeper, and that's when you can throw in front.
McCallum, Montgomery, Brown, and Jet, the receivers. Andrew Glover, tight end for the Raiders. Perry Wisniewski, great veteran Mosbar in the middle. Kevin Gogan, the newcomer, returning here to Dallas tonight. And Bruce Wilkerson not starting tonight. Greg Skrebenak, a late replacement for Wilkerson, who's injured. Here's McCallum. Bursting forward, a gain of about 4 yards on the play for Napoleon. McCallum, who's proved so valuable last year in the late going for the Raiders, and especially in the playoffs when they really needed him to come through. Robert Jones making the tackle. All right, let's take a look at the defensive line here for Dallas. At the defensive end positions, Tolbert and Haley, the great veteran. Russell Merrill and Leon Lett cannot play tonight. They're not able to start. They've gone with Hennings and McCormick instead. Edwards, Jones, and Smith at the linebacker positions. Smith and Brown, the corners. Washington and Woodson are the safeties. 3rd down and 6 for the Raiders. Hostetler takes off running. Got the first down. Hostetler, a mobile quarterback. Many times last year he did just that. Penalty flag is down. Hostetler actually gained more than 200 yards last year for the Raiders on the ground.
And that's the great thing about Hostetler. He fits the bill as a contemporary quarterback, meaning that he throws the ball very well and he can scramble well enough to move the chains and make plays, just like I did on the last play.
12 men on the field on the defense. And one thing for sure, Hank, about Hostetler, he is tough and he is competitive.
Well, you saw that example of that right there. He was going straight ahead. He didn't try to dodge anybody. He lowered his shoulder and went in there for the extra yardage. He only threw 1 interception last year in the last 5 games, and that's how effective he was and efficient he was near the end of the season.
And I was astonished myself in going over his career statistics, Hank, to see that he's thrown over 1,000 passes, 1,051 passes, and only 22 interceptions in that whole time.
Yeah, that's a great illustration of why Al Davis and that staff thought he was such a good prospect, and he got him when they had the opportunity. He's made a tremendous difference in this football team.
Huge free agent signee for the Raiders last year. Now it's first down on the 35-yard line. Ty Montgomery in motion. Give to McCallum, following the blocking to the left side. He's a victim of a hard hit there. McCallum was spelled by James Washington, formerly of UCLA. Started his career with the Rams, then to Dallas. This kid had a huge Super Bowl last year, James Washington.
He makes a good hit here, too. Look at McCallum trying to go to the outside, and watch this hit. Boy, that's a great hit. It really is.
Washington now in his 7th year, regaining a starting position now this year. In the offseason, they traded one of their starting defensive secondary members, Thomas Everett, to Tampa Bay, and Washington moves up. Hostetler now at second down. Again, can't find anyone open. Patient. Now he unloads. He's got a man streaking toward the end zone. It's Ty Montgomery for a touchdown, Raiders. 34 yards, and Hostetler showing the patience that is needed back there. Unloaded that pass. He waited till Montgomery got open and then let him have it.
Yeah, but the nice thing about it is he moved around well in the pocket, got time, was very patient, and got the ball with a beautiful touch on the outside. Look at this now. He goes to the outside. He knows exactly where the line of scrimmage is, which shows a lot of composure and a lot of savvy on his part. Gets it downfield in beautiful shape. Touchdown. The Raiders are right back in business.
The Raiders now will go for 1 point. Last week, you might recall, when they scored their opening touchdown of the game, they went for 2 and were successful, but Jager in to try the 1. Gossett, the holder. The kick is good. And so the Raiders bounce right back after the big kick return by Rocket Ismail, and they're able to get right back on the scoreboard and tie this game. 7:20 to go in a first quarter of play. It's the Raiders 7, the Cowboys 7. And there's Ty Montgomery, who just came through for the Raiders with a 34-yard touchdown reception. Here's Jager with a line drive kick to Kevin Williams. Actually drives him into the end zone, and he takes a knee. Well, a great kick by Jager, Hank. I don't think we're going to see too many touchbacks this year in the NFL.
No, you're not going to see many of them, but he's got a thunder foot. You know, he looks like he dipped in a Gatorade. He gets that extra power in there and gets the ball into the end zone. Yeah, it's amazing that he kicked it that far from the 30-yard line. You know, what we saw in that last touchdown drive was a great illustration of what the Raiders are going to be all about this year. Their speed, lightning. You see, they brought the kickoff back 45 yards by the Rocket. Then the touchdown pass to Montgomery. And then a scramble by Hostetler, and all of a sudden, you're on the scoreboard.
Well, the Cowboys have already changed quarterbacks here, Hank. They've gone to Rodney Peete, also in his 6th year, and Pete's going to unload right side. Lincoln Coleman's got it, and brought down immediately by Aaron Wallace after a short game. Nice bit of work there by Wallace, but Rodney Peete, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, wearing number 9 here in Dallas. Played some last week in their opener against Minnesota. Completed 11 of 24 passes, and of course has played the last 5 years, starting a lot of games for the Detroit Lions.
Well, I like him too. You know, he's playing a lot of good football for the Lions. He was hurt a couple of times and lost the opportunity to maintain that position on that football team. But he's not Joe Palooka playing quarterback. You know, he's been around and he'll do a good job.
Well, they had Kozar last year, and they with Kozar leaving for Miami, now there's movement along the line, and they blow the play dead. So they'll call a penalty here. Here's Troy Aikman over on the sideline. His work already done for the night. He had a little bit of blood on his jersey, but that's not why he's out of there. He played enough for them to fine record. As the head coach of the Los Angeles Raiders, has had the Raiders in the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. Here's Lincoln Coleman off left tackle. Chester McLaughlin there, the man to bring him down. Lincoln Coleman, a guy who's going to have to keep his weight under control. He's 6'1", but goes about 250.
But he handles it very well. He handles it very well, and of course they wanted to lose some more weight, and I'm sure that he will.
Now it is 3rd and 7 at the 23-yard line. 6 minutes to play first quarter. 7-7 tie. Raiders and the Cowboys. Pete, good protection. Over the middle, he has the completion to Garrett. That is Judd Garrett as opposed to their quarterback, Jason Garrett.
And Judd Garrett and Jason Garrett used to
play. And it's a 4th down, which means that the Cowboys will have to punt. The punter is John Jett. Back deep to receive for the Raiders is Daryl Hobbs. He fields it cleanly at the 32, comes straight up the middle, gets himself about 5 or 6 yards, but then he's brought down by Brownlow. A 42-yard punt and 6-yard return for Daryl Hobbs.
And you had to be impressed with the way he protected the ball. He knew he was going to get a good shot. You see how he protected the ball? That's very, very important. It's a subtle thing, but very important.
5 for our KCAL sports crew is arranged through U.S. Air. With interesting ball game here so far. The Raiders and the Dallas Cowboys. Raiders taking over now on the 37-yard line. 1st and 10. Jeff Hostetler stays in for the Raiders. McCallum, Montgomery in the backfield. Glover switches from the left side over to the right. Montgomery. Montgomery takes a hard hit. It goes down. Dixon, Edwards, and Tolbert combining to make the tackle on him. We will see a lot of the Raider youngsters, of course, during the course of tonight. This is the way that things shook out come draft day. Rob Fredrickson, the #1 draft pick, an inside linebacker. Folston made quite an impression last week, as did Calvin Jones in Barcelona. Austin Robbins, Patterson, also the Raider draft picks. The draft, of course, cut to just 7 rounds this past year. Hostetler airing it out. And there is a penalty. Kevin Smith had James Jett wrapped up.
You got him in a blitz that time, and he tried to go up on top, which is a good call.
Illegal contact, 28 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Hank, this year they're really going to try to cut down on any kind of chucking past that 5-yard mark. It's one thing they're really going to try to enforce, or at least they say that they're going to this year.
Well, they're going to literally exercise what it really means. You're not supposed to be able to hit the guy after he goes 5 yards, and the last few years they've been a little lenient, and they've been able to take him 7 or 8 yards.
Right.
Now they're going to go back to the 5 and make sure they enforce that rule. That's what it's all about.
Moves the ball up to the 45-yard line, and a 1st down for the Raiders. Montgomery comes over to join Jett on the left side, and they hand the ball off to McCallum. Over the right tackle, makes about 3 yards. Napoleon McCallum, I tell you, this guy, really admire McCallum. Hank, he's been cut a couple of times in his career. Of course, he had that military commitment. Last year, when the Raiders became thin at the running back position due to injuries, here stepped up McCallum to really play well at the end of the season.
Well, he's done a terrific job. He really has. It looks like he plays a lot better in games than he does in practice. He's a big, strong guy, dances every dance and gives everything he has on every play.
Hostetler now on 2nd down has a pass knocked away by Washington. He was trying to get the ball upfield to Andrew Glover, a Raider tight end, and Washington cut in front and knocked it down, had a shot at an interception.
Yeah, he really, he touched the ball. He didn't have much of a chance to really intercept the ball. It was way out in front, and typical of a defensive back, instead of catching it, he knocked it down.
Brings up a 3rd and 6 now for the Raiders. Hostetler has the completion, right side. Daryl Hobbs, 1st down Raiders. But a penalty marker down.
Good protection on our last play, and of course Hostetler stayed in the pocket extremely well. Good patience, good concentration on throwing the ball downfield to the receiver Hobbs.
It would appear there's an opening in the Raider wide receiver corps for somebody after what they're calling the awesome foursome of Tim Brown, James Jett, Alexander Wright, and Rocket Ismail. And this could be the guy right here who fits into that 5th spot, perhaps. Darryl Hobbs had a nice week last week.
Well, you talk about the Lightning Brigade. That's what those receivers are. They're terrific. They got great potential, and I'll tell you that.
Illegal use of the hands, defense, hands to the face, number 24. Penalties declined. First down.
And they're going to put a lot of fear in those defensive backs around the league, I guarantee it.
Larry Brown is the man called for the penalty. Especially, I think, too, you know, when you see the Raiders go up top on that first play, Hank, that immediately puts that thought, even if it's not completed, puts that thought right into the defense and gets them back into their heels.
Well, you know, they're so concerned about it as the game goes on, they wind up in a tunnel almost. They're concerned about deep patterns.
Here's Montgomery spinning his way across the 35-yard line. Ty Montgomery brought down by Darren Smith, and Ty bidding to become more than just a 3rd down back. But of course, along the way, we will see the Raiders' other running backs who they have and who they obtained during the course of the season. But this is nice work here by Montgomery.
He runs with his head up and his eyes open. That's why he's able to make those cuts and seize the holes as well as he does, and also reacts as well as he does. A lot of guys will put their head down and close their eyes. He doesn't do that. It's important.
Fake the handoff to Montgomery this time on Hostetler, firing, and it's incomplete. Intended for Timmy Brown. Washington working defensively there against Brown, and Tim a little bit disgusted.
Yeah, that's a play action pass, and Timmy is disappointed that he missed that catch, because normally he sucks those up like he's got a vacuum sweeper in his hand.
He won't miss many of them. Raiders showed everybody they meant business this year when they matched Denver's offer to the restricted free agent Tim Brown, and now Hostetler wants a timeout after he looks things over coming up here on 3rd and 2.
You know, talking about Timmy Brown, he had 18 catches on 3rd down situations last year, 17 of which went for 1st down. That's strong.
So timeout called by the Raiders with 2:28 to go in the 1st quarter, and the ball game tied 7-7.
Say many times, you know, just win, baby, just win, and that's exactly what he does. He's going to do everything it takes to get the kind of people he needs to win. They won a Super Bowl in the 60s, the 70s, and 80s, and he's got a passion to win it again in the 90s.
That was Napoleon McCallum with the carry, and one of the newcomers that you're talking about, Hank, is Kevin Gogan. This guy is huge. He just swallows up people on that offensive line.
He's not only huge, he's big. And the other thing about him, I asked him the other day whether he thought he was a better run blocker or a pass blocker, and I was surprised. He said, "I think I'm a better pass blocker."
Really?
That surprised me.
Well, that was enough for a 1st down for the Raiders. McCallum picking it up. The Raiders continue driving here in the 1st quarter, and Hostetler wants another timeout.
You know, the other thing Gogan said, he said, you know, we might have been pretty good run blockers, but we never could tell because all we had to do was get a little crack for Emmitt Smith.
There goes Emmitt.
And so we couldn't tell whether it was our blocking or his great running, so he never knew.
And there he is. You can see him towering over some of the other guys. Now, that's not a small bunch of people the Raiders have in their offensive line, but look at those numbers on Gogan. 6'7", 310 pounds. Started at right guard last year with Dallas, but you know, the year before that, Hank, he had played at left guard, and back in 1990 he'd even played some left tackle for Dallas. So you'd love to have that kind of versatility up and down your line.
And that's important, especially when you can have veteran players like these who can make adjustments and play either tackle or guard, whatever it takes, right side, left side. They just get it done. He's not playing tonight. He doesn't have to worry about stretching the pores and getting any sweat. I said that to Dawson one day, our great quarterback at Kansas City, I said, Lenny, don't ever let him see you sweat. He said, Coach, quarterbacks don't sweat, they perspire.
Oh, I hope you learned your lesson there, Hank. There's Hostetler. He's got Tim Brown, and it's incomplete. Driven out of bounds by Darren Woodson. Looking for Brown on that right side.
Good step, follow through. Good cushion right there. See, that ball should have been caught. Should have hung on to that, baby. He scraped it out of there, but you still can't let that happen.
Hostetler so far 2 of 6 for 43 yards. Gives the ball to Montgomery. Moves forward and runs right into Robert Jones. Penalty flag thrown.
And McCallum got a good block that time on a linebacker from an inside-out position, and we're able to run inside. A good contact by McCallum.
Penalty being signaled here against Los Angeles.
Holding offense, number 76, 10-yard penalty, second down.
4 to go. Clock running. First quarter of play. Ball on the 40-yard line, and the score tied 7-7.
Look at the outside receiver on the right side. It looked like he was open. There he is.
Montgomery is the man who gathers in the pass from Hostetler and moves down to the 30-yard line, and Robert Jones makes the tackle on him.
See, on that particular situation, they had a receiver on the outside. He had a big cushion, and the back also had a big cushion on the inside. And he hit Montgomery for a good play. Good read on the part of Hostetler. See, watch what happens. Here's Montgomery in the seam of the zone. Gets it right where it had to be thrown and makes another nice gain on the play.
Raiders got 11 yards back. Good start for Montgomery. 2 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown. 3rd and 9 for LA from the 30. Haas gets rid of it to Glover. Brought down after a short gain.
Remember, again, there's a good illustration. The ground can cause a fumble, and I think that's what they call that. I think it's a completed pass.
They gave him a short gain. Now it's up here, Hank, where the Raiders will make a decision on whether to go for a field goal or not. This year, teams will have more of a choice deciding, of course, because that's another rule change where the ball will be brought back after a missed field goal to the spot of the kick, not at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, inside the 20, it goes back to the 20 if you miss it, but if you kick one outside the 20, it goes to the spot of the hold.
Well, the clock has run down, and the first quarter has come to an end, so we will wait until the beginning of the second period to see if Jeff Jager can convert on his field goal attempt for Los Angeles. 1 quarter in the books at Texas.
Susan, give me the cough button. Where's it? Oh. Where's the cough button? This one? Where's the cough button? This thing? Okay, I'll go. I'll go, but you can't take the bird seed with you. That stays.
Start the second period of action. Jeff Jager for Los Angeles is about to attempt a 42-yard field goal. Jager had a magnificent season a year ago for Los Angeles. His 6th season with the Raiders, his 42-yard field goal attempt is good. Jager kicks it through. Last year led the NFL in scoring with 132 points, and he picks up 3 there to give the Raiders the lead. 7, not too much difference there, Hank, in the first quarter stat. You see anything there?
Well, no, that's 81 yards. Total offense for the Raiders is good, and all 3 or 4 conversions on 4th down. You got to be impressed with that, and you got to love it.
Here's Kevin Williams bringing the ball up the right side. Crowd buzzing as Williams jumps over Jager and gets up to the 35-yard line. No, the 34. He's an exciting return man. I think both teams tonight are letting their return man show off a little. Rocket Ismail, of course, for the Raiders with a big one earlier, and Kevin Williams has done nicely.
Well, that's the one thing about the specialty teams. That ball is kicked down to the 5-yard line, and here again, he picks and chooses very well. You get a mixed tackle. The defensive back falls down, and as a result, he's able to make a lot more yardage on the play than he should.
Like that little hesitation step right there, Hank, that he took.
Yeah, he twinkle toes right through the hole there and makes a nice gain of the play.
Here's Rodney Peete giving the ball to Lincoln Coleman. And Coleman brought down at the line of scrimmage, didn't get much. Jerry Ball, the man who initially hit him, brought him down with help from Nolan Harrison. And I like this acquisition, Jerry Ball. This is a big-time player coming to the Raiders in the defensive line this year.
Yeah, no question about that. And, of course, on the last play, Nolan Harrison came in from the side and helped make that tackle. Did a good job of reacting to the play. Number 74.
You're looking at Ball, who was in his 8th year in the NFL 3 times. Has gone to the Pro Bowl. A nice debut in silver and black a week ago. Here's Lincoln Coleman. Mugging off left guard. Runs into Derek Hoskins and Greg Biekert. Little struggling down at the bottom of that. Here's Nolan Harrison, and here's Nate Newton on him. Big guy. 325 Newton goes.
Well, that's a big offensive line. Their line is corresponding to that of the Raiders. 2 big, strong offensive lines and also a big defensive line for the Raiders.
They have lost Gogan, of course, to the Raiders in free agency this year. They lost a number of players to free agency, 9 in all. On 3rd and 5, Peete, quick drop, has a completion. Willie Jackson with the reception, the rookie out of Florida, and Lionel Washington brings it down. 1st and 10 now for the Dallas almost every season. 1st and 10. Peete in trouble, gets rid of the ball late, and it's incomplete. Peete faced a lot of pressure that time from the Raiders' Nolan Harrison and also Alberto White.
Yeah, it looked like Nolan got penetration. It looked like that's who it was. And he threw the ball just in time to get rid of the ball, but didn't have a chance in the world because of the pressure to get the ball to the receiver downfield.
Rodney Peete played quite a bit in their win over Minnesota last week. Mobile player, of course, experienced. There's Nolan Harrison, now in his 4th year out of Indiana. Seems to be getting better every year, continues to develop. Peete on a draw play to Lincoln Coleman, dancing around at the line of scrimmage, and he's brought down by Greg Biekert.
He's too big to do that. You know, he's all pumped up, about 245 pounds. And with that size, he better make a decision, right or wrong, and make a cut and go for the yardage instead of dancing around like he did on the last play.
Well, he hasn't had much tonight, Hank. 7 carries, 13 yards. Raiders doing a good job of run stuffing. 3rd and 7, 12 minutes to play. 2nd quarter. Raiders lead 10-7. Here comes Biekert now showing blitz. Now he drops off. Peete over the middle, intended for Williams, incomplete. Williams picked up by the Raiders' Albert Lewis. Another big acquisition for the Raiders during the course of the offseason.
For to be a lot more aggressive, play man-for-man coverage without the fear of losing a big play, and then get a chance to put a lot more pressure on the offense.
Hobbs feels the punt, and John Jett comes right up the middle. Penalty flag's thrown. Hobbs doing a great job of getting away, regains his balance, and he's off to the races at the 50 and brought down at the last second. A great return by Darryl Hobbs, the punter. John Jett is the man who tackled him. It was a 36-yard punt, a 37-yard return by Hobbs. But again, there was a penalty flag thrown back in the area that usually indicates that receiving team is going to be marching back.
Well, you talk about, look, it bounces off on 2 tacklers there, makes a good room, helps with a straight arm with a left hand, gets hit in the back.
That's
maintains
amazing.
balance, puts his hand on the turf and keeps going. Finally tackle from the backside, but a beautiful effort and a great run
on
by
the return
Darryl
team,
Hobbs.
number 41. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Napoleon McCallum was the man called for a holding penalty. He was hit by 6 people before he was finally brought down.
And that's a great illustration of determination, and great heart, great try.
And now Vince Evans comes in as they penalize the Raiders half the distance to the goal line, just outside the 7-yard line. There's Vince Evans, the 39-year-old miracle of the Los Angeles Raiders. Last year, completed 45 of 76 passes, over 59%. Been with the Raiders now since 1987 after his career with the Chicago Bears and then a couple of teams in the USFL, the Blitz and the Denver Gold. You know, in each of the last 2 seasons too, Hank, Vince Evans has had to come in during the regular season and found himself an important part of a victory for the Raiders. 11:39 to go here in the first half. Raiders lead it 10-0. Vince Evans hands the ball to Tom Rathman on first down for the Raiders. Darren Smith brings him down. A short gain for Rathman. And the Raiders have a completely new backfield in now, Hank. And those 2 backs that we were talking about earlier, and certainly a big acquisition for the Raiders, Rathman and Harvey Williams, both in the backfield now.
Well, in conjunction with that same thought, you got the same #1 offensive line up front to block for those 2 backs. They're very, very valuable to this offensive scheme. And they want to take a good look at them with #1 offensive line.
Rathman wears 44, Harvey Williams 22. Evans on a play fake, steps up into the pocket, may run. He will. Penalty flag thrown. He's driven out of bounds by Dixon Edwards.
Out of bounds.
Chop block, number 76 and 77 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal line. Repeat, second down.
They call the Raiders for a chop block over on the left side of the line. And so that play, they'll march him back even further.
Yeah, there he is. You saw it in the left corner there of the screen. You saw the penalty on the play. Didn't see a very good shot of it there, but that's where the problem was.
He said 76 and 77. I think it was 76 and 71 that Gerald Perry. 77 is Rich Stevens, but he's not in there right now. Raiders face a 2nd and 13. Evans from the 5-yard line. Mosbar still up over center. Big rush. Safety. Tolbert got to Evans. Tony Tolbert with a speed rush from his left defensive end position comes up with a safety on Evans. Boys now to within 1 point as he beats Skrepenak on that play.
Well, the other thing about that kind of a play, you see, he's got the quickness. A good rusher has a capacity to rush outside, 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 and then start outside and quick enough to get inside. That's what he did, and that's why he made the play.
Raiders lead. Well, we're a little late rejoining you as they started things up a little earlier than we anticipated, but the free kick made by Jeff Gossett, fielded by Kevin Williams, and returned out to the 41-yard line. Willie Jackson goes out wide right this time for Dallas. On the handoff, that might have been Tony Richardson carrying the ball. They were going to try him, and it is tailback here tonight. He has played fullback, but Switzer wants to take a look at him at the halfback position.
Watching the good gang tackling here. Look at this. Good effort. You got 4 guys, 5 guys in the picture with a gang tackling. Good reaction, good pursuit on the play.
There's Alberto White wearing the number 96 that you probably saw. First in on that tackle. Alberto had a nice game in Barcelona last week. Here's Pete on second down. Taking the handoff. Big rush. He's caught from behind. Dragged down by Scott Davis. Did they call a sack or not? Jerry Ball with the initial penetration, and then Scott Davis had him by the ankle, and it looked as though it was going to be a sack, and Pete unloaded it at the last second.
Now look at this. He's fighting for his life back there. and he still has enough poise and enough composure to get rid of the football, although the ball was on the ground. And then he picked it up and threw it, but he avoided a sack on the play.
In the old grasp and control days, that would have been a sack. 3rd and 10 now. For Dallas as Pete fades back to pass. And he's brought down this time. Scott Davis flying by him. Just reached out with one arm and knocked him down. And Scott Davis already in those 2 plays, Hank, has had more of an impact than he did last week in his return.
All right, Scott Davis coming good, with a good rush here. Good penetration. Look at that. There you see him. He's been out for 2 years, and he's coming back after a 2-year layoff, and they're ecstatic about the fact that he's back with them, and they think he's going to be a tremendous help to this football team.
He was trying to get rid of the rust a week ago, I think, Hank, in Barcelona, and he certainly shows tonight that he might have done just that. Here's the punt by Jet to Darryl Hobbs. Avoids one man at the 25, but then is brought down at the 28-yard line. A 48-yard kick and 7-yard return. Scott Davis got his hair cut much shorter than it used to be, Hank, a couple of years ago. But he's a businessman now, you know.
Yeah, he's a big typhoon in the business world. He talked about that. He said he got a lot of things in order. Arrows are in the right direction. Now he's got it going good. He felt he could come back to football, and he's ecstatic about the opportunity to come back.
And, of course, his return really softens the blow of Howie Long's retirement. And also Greg Townsend leaving. The Raiders were able to absorb both Long and Townsend's departure. Of course, you get guys like Scott Davis and then Jerry Ball coming as well to the team along the defensive line. Here's Evans giving the ball to Harvey Williams. He runs into pretty much a stone wall at the 30-yard line, and Robert Jones providing much of that wall.
You know, people watching this game might wonder, well, how come they're running so much? They've got so much speed on the outside. They know that they can throw the ball. They know they can be successful throwing a football. They want to make every effort in the world to improve their running game over a year ago in this preseason. And that's why you see a lot of what we're seeing from a running standpoint.
Raiders are certain their running game will be much improved this year, and it would seem it would have to be that way with the acquisitions they made in the offseason. Evans whips a side armor to Darryl Hobbs, spins away from a man, avoids another midfield, inside the 40, down to the 32-yard line. Big play by Darryl Hobbs, who's having a terrific night. And a fight breaks out just behind Hobbs. James Washington of Dallas, and I can't quite catch the Raider number. It's Harvey Williams. Harvey Williams and James Washington really going at it. But that should not detract from a terrific play made by Hobbs, who's really showing some great running ability here this evening.
Oh, it's a terrific job of running, making a catch, and then moving the ball upfield after the reception. Just terrific. See, that's what you look at. The pass protection was good to begin with. He makes the catch on the outside, and look at him going down the sideline. Makes a good inside move, dances again, takes advantage of the block downfield, and gets about 8 extra yards because of the good running. He had the ball in the wrong arm, however. He ought to be keeping it on the left side, outside, away from pressure in that kind of a situation.
39-yard play, some nice downfield blocking by Rocket Ismail. Provided him a nice shield. Here's Tom Rathman for the Raiders. He's wrapped up after a very short gain, a gain of about a yard. Brought down by Herman McCormick, a rookie out of Indiana, who's starting tonight for the injured Leon Lett. Rathman spent 8 very productive years in San Francisco. Not only is he a terrific blocker and short yardage guy, but he can really catch that football coming out of the backfield.
Yes, and he's smart enough. You know, he moves the chains. He's a good runner along with it. Gets the most out of plays, and he'll be a big asset to this team offensively.
2nd and 9. Now Evans rises up and utilizes the Raiders' last timeout of the half. So the Raiders have burned all of their timeouts now, and there's 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
Well, it's better to call a timeout if there's any indecision, rather than run a play with indecision and then blow a play and maybe cough up the ball and do something bad to give the ball to the opposition. In that particular case,
we have been assured is going to be ready and at full capacity come September 11th for that Raider home opener against Seattle. from the 30-yard line now, and 2nd and 9. Vince Evans steps up into the pocket, takes off running, down to the 25. Pick up 5 yards for Vince. Robert Jones making the tackle.
I tell you, he's amazing the way he can still escape. And I tell you, get him in a game, he's a very good reactionary quarterback. He says things spontaneously, makes moves, makes big plays. And the great thing about him is he's got a great crank. He's got a great arm.
Yeah, 39
He gets out
years
of
old.
trouble, and a lot of people give up on the coverage. He'll get the ball down the field a long ways and makes a big play.
39 years old. The Hanky just doesn't seem to slow down. Keeps his body in great condition, though, Vince.
Well, he doesn't know he's 38 or 39, see?
15th year in the NFL. Only one remaining back. That's Ty Montgomery. Everyone else out into the pattern, including Montgomery. Evans takes off, avoids jet coat, puts a move on a man, gets across the 20, has a first down for Los Angeles, and out of bounds at the 15-yard line. 10-yard gain for Vince Evans.
It goes back a long time, you know, playing with the Bears. I used to love him when I was a kid, used to watch him.
Hey, you could fool some of the people some of the time, Stram.
All right, watch this. Look at this now. He's looking. Changes the ball. Good composure. Now he's got it in the right arm and the wrong arm. Now he keeps it there, and he finally runs out of bounds. But he stretches the loss into a nice game.
10 yards on the pickup, and it's 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Just outside the 15-yard line. Here's Harvey Williams. Strung out along the right side, brought down. Managed to stretch the ball forward inside the 15 for a pickup of about 1.
I talked to Harvey Williams this afternoon before the game in the lobby of the hotel. He's ecstatic about the opportunity to be with the Raiders. And I think it was a great acquisition. And I think it'll reach terrific dividends as the season progresses, because he's going to get better and better and better. He's got good speed, good size. And he's going to be a tremendous help, I think.
Well, you said the key word, opportunity, Hank, and he's going to get one in Los Angeles. Evans fires. Incomplete. Nick Bell, who's been going through a transition this year from the tailback position to one of a tight end.
Never really got out of the blocks. He looked like he was going to be terrific early when I saw him last year, and then he got hurt, and he never recaptured the style that he had before that injury.
Evans in trouble. Being chased. Incomplete. Tried to get it to Darryl Hobbs. Tried to make a diving catch in the corner of the end zone. Kevin Smith working against Hobbs defensively.
Of his offensive skill.
32-yard field goal attempt now for Jeff Jager. And he missed it. Jager a little bit wide right. And the lead remains at only 1 for Los Angeles. 4:31 to go in the first half of play. Here's Rodney Peete under big pressure and sacked on the opening play following the missed field goal. Alberto White, who got to the quarterback twice last week in Barcelona, and he gets to Rodney Peete there. Draft pick a couple of years ago. Here's Richardson out of Auburn, and he's wrapped up immediately. Eckert and Hoskins there to meet him, along with Alberto White. Lead 10-9. Pete's pass is complete. Again, a short gain. Up to about the 24-yard line. Greg Beekert. Good chance for good field position here for the Raiders.
And they got enough time. They get good field position to kick a field goal and make a play.
Jordan back this time to get the punt from Jet. He's chased over to the 25-yard line, avoids a man, keeps his balance, cuts back the other way, still in trouble and down. 52-yard punt, no return. 2:31 to.
It's a big headache, but it'll be good for the fans.
Raiders still working with Harvey Williams and Tom Rathman in the backfield.
Look at all the room on the left. Oh, now he's coming in motion on the right side. Running play.
Harvey Williams carrying the ball for Los Angeles in a short gain, about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Raiders. The ball at the 30-yard line. The Raider wide receivers right now are Darryl Hobbs and Rocket Ismail. The Raiders letting the clock wind down to 2 minutes, and the 2-minute notification now is given to both benches. 2 minutes to play in the first half.
A very, very good overview of what people are doing defensively.
Raiders have a 2nd and 5 now on the 30-yard line as Evans drops back to pass. Nice grab, pedaling backwards was Darryl Hobbs, who is very impressive tonight on a 16-yard reception for Darryl Hobbs. Brock Marion defensively working against him.
Very good catch and a good protection. Evans again steps up into the pocket nicely, delivers the ball up on top, way over on top. He maintains good composure, good balance, makes the catch, good concentration, and that's the big thing is he caught the ball. That's the only thing that's really important.
Well, he's posted impressive numbers, 3 receptions for 64 yards, and one that didn't count was that terrific punt return that he had. First down for the Raiders. Evans going for it all, has the rocket. Great grab, touchdown Raiders! Rocket Ismail makes an impossible catch for Los Angeles and tumbles into the end zone on a brilliant pass from Vince Evans for 54 yards.
He got the flaps up on that one, didn't he? Got the ball up in the air nicely, and the Rocket did a beautiful job of making the reception and knowing where he was and got the ball into the end zone for the touchdown. Now look at this. Protection is good. He steps up in the pocket. Look at over the top. Good concentration. He followed the ball right into his hands. He knew exactly where he was, where he had to go for the touchdown. A lot of times a pass receiver would be happy just to be able to make the catch and then be satisfied at down and under 2. Then you wind up don't getting in there for the touchdown and wind up maybe having to kick a field goal. Great effort by the Rocket.
Point after touchdown now. Jaeger kicks it through, and the Raiders increase their lead to 8 points. Boy, you can't see that one enough. That'll be on all the highlight reels all year, on a preseason game or whatever. Fielded this time by Clayton Holmes. Up the right sideline, has some room. Jaeger makes the tackle on him. Tripped him up just in time onto the 42. That's twice now tonight that Jaeger is the guy who's had to come up and make a tackle on a kick return. 1:39 left for the Cowboys here in the first half. An 8-point differential. And remember, with a 2-point conversion now, that can be made up with 1 touchdown. This year, ball batted into the air. Intercepted by Alberto White. Alberto White is having a monster night. Well, I think we're all going to have to remember this name. White is just having a terrific evening. This is a 10th round draft choice 2 years ago, folks.
Yeah, he had to jump up in the air and catch it with his hands that time. A lot of times, you know, those defensive linemen will catch it against their body. That time he had good enough hands to jump up, and look at this. Makes the catch, holds on to it. White does a terrific job on the play, and he did.
Raiders now with time, 1:32, but remember, they have no timeouts remaining, but still they have great field position here. Ball at the 40-yard line. Evans fires right side, got the rocket, but it's incomplete.
For that passing game.
Ismail wide right, Hobbs and Jet wide left. The ball goes to Harvey Williams, who squirts through for a gain of about 2.
Well, I think the players have really responded to him very, very well. You know, he's got a tremendous coaching record, did a terrific job at Oklahoma. That didn't happen by accident.
Evans completed pass to Darryl Hobbs. He's out of bounds with another first down. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. Williams struggles forward to the 21.
They got no timeouts, you know.
27 seconds to go as the Raiders line right up. Evans fires left side. It looked as though Hobbs had it and then dropped it. Incomplete, and that'll stop the clock, and the Raiders will come up with a 3rd down and 7. First half, Raiders bidding for more. They lead the Dallas Cowboys by 8. And here's Skripanek picking up and at least for 42 yards. They took 3 offsides in their very first possession tonight. Now on 3rd down, Evans, whammo, down he goes. Shante Carver is the man who comes up with the sack. Arizona State is showing that he has a good burst upfield, and now with the clock running, Jaeger will attempt a 50-yard field goal. Ball is down, up, it looks long enough, and it is good. As time runs out, Jeff Jaeger kicks it through from 50 yards away, and the Raiders expand their lead here at intermission. Time has run out in the first half of play. With the score, the Los Angeles Raiders 20 and the world champion Dallas Cowboys 9.
Are still in the game. They're good players, and they've done a terrific job of containing the offense of the Dallas Cowboys.
Here to start the second half, Harvey Williams grabs the opening kickoff. It comes out across the 25-yard line to the 27-yard line, and that's where the Los Angeles Raiders will put it in operation 1st and 10. Darren Studstill was the man who made the tackle.
It's a good hit, too. Very good hit with the shoulder pads, not the arm, with the shoulder pads.
So just the start of the things here in the second half. Raiders trying to make it 2 preseason victories in a row after opening up with Denver. All of the Raider preseason games will be on the road this year. And then the Raiders' 35th anniversary season starts on the road at San Francisco. And then September 11th, they're back home to take on Seattle. Here's Harvey Williams. Nice cutback by Harvey. Across the 40. 50. Inside the 40-yard line, and the acquisition of Harvey Williams begins to pay big dividends. A 37-yard run by Williams, but a flag is down.
And he made a good point, a very good move. Watch this move now. Say he cuts back, he sees the cavity, cuts back, carries the ball away from pressure, goes down the sideline with a lot of authority. He's not going to run out of bounds. He's going to make him knock him out of bounds, and he still stays in bounds. Finally gets out of bounds after a beautiful run by Harvey Williams.
Clayton Holmes drove him out of bounds.
Offense, number 87, 10-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
I could not hear the call by the official there, but it was whistled against Andrew Glover. The ball is marked back to the 20-yard line. It's 1st and 17 now for the Raiders.
Look at all the room on the left side with a left receiver one-on-one. Now he comes back in motion, but he had a lot of room to throw the ball on the outside.
It was Hobbs, but instead the Raiders run, and it was Calvin Jones, and he was hammered to the turf. Calvin Jones, the rookie running back out of Nebraska. Hank, the Raiders did not have to punt in that first half.
Yeah, again, you know, we talked about it. You have to be impressed, we mentioned at halftime, with the way they played in that first half, physically, defensively, and offensively.
2nd down. Evans in trouble, wrapped up and sacked. Ball comes free, but the ball was down. It is a sack on Evans. There is no fumble. Shante Carver with the sack. This kid is very impressive. Rookie out of Arizona State. He led Dallas in tackles last week against Minnesota, and he showed a good upfield burst in that game, and he's showing it here again tonight. Shante Carver. Raiders are short a man, apparently. And they're going to have to burn a timeout here. They only had 10 men on the field. They were waiting for somebody else to get out, and they did not get out in time. So timeout called by the Raiders. 13:29 to go in the 3rd quarter. Raiders on top by 11. 8 at their own 9-yard line. Vince Evans at quarterback for the Raiders. We expect to see Billy Joe Hobart a little bit later on. The Raiders have gone to their second team defensive line, although Skrepanek, who replaced Bruce Wilkerson, stays in the ball game. Dan Turk is now the center. Max Montoya, the great veteran, working next to Skrepanek on the right side. Rich Stevens, Robert Jenkins on the left side. They give it to Harvey Williams. He burst through the middle, got pretty good yardage out to the 18-yard line. So he got some good yards back. Got picked up about 9 on the play, but of course well short of the first down. Alfie Birch making the tackle for Dallas.
Rathman did turn him out to the outside so he could run inside that block.
First punt of the night here for Gossett. Kevin Williams getting underneath it now, settles under it, gets it at the 33, stutter step across the 35, spins away from a man at the 40 and up to the 41-yard line. Kevin Williams, Mr. Excitement tonight. Gossett's first punt, 49 yards, a 9-yard return. Greg Beekert makes the tackle, and now the Cowboys have possession of the ball when we return. 12:45 to go in the third quarter of play. The Los Angeles Raiders lead the Dallas Cowboys 20.
Your Honda dealer today. Timing is everything.
Rodney Peete brings the Cowboys up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from the 41. Gives the ball to Lincoln Coleman, who bucks straight ahead. Manages to hang on to the football. Brought down by Holmberg, one of the rookie linebackers of the Raiders. King, another rookie linebacker you want to keep your eyes on in there. Number 53, Rob Fredrickson, who's into the lineup now for Los Angeles, their top draft pick.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to be a very good one. He's got good size, he's got good quickness and speed, good reactionary ability. He looks like a very outstanding player for the future.
Pick up on the play of 8, 2nd and 2. Again, Coleman straight ahead. And just blast forward to get the yardage needed for the first down. Kevin Williams is wide left. Tim Daniel wide right for Dallas. Again, Coleman gets the ball, adjusts outside. Holmberg and Patrick Bates make the tackle. Lincoln Coleman getting a lot of work tonight. You're looking at Rodney Peete there, but Coleman, in the absence of Emmitt Smith, getting a chance to show his stuff.
Yeah, they're going to run him and run him and run him and make him prove that he shouldn't be that heavy. They're going to set an example here tonight with him.
He's losing some weight tonight for sure. Very humid here in Dallas. There was a tremendous thunderstorm here in the area today. Peete in trouble, unloads the ball. Nice catch by Wilson. A short gain, but still a nice grab on the play. Dan Land makes the tackle. Peete was in some real trouble. And a penalty flag down.
Another good posture on the part of
the face. 15
Peete.
yards
Gets
from
the
the end
ball
of the
away
run.
under pressure.
Push down.
A nice catch. A nice catch there in the flat.
The Raiders called for an illegal blow to the head, and they're going to get penalized 15 yards here on top of the gain. So that will give the Cowboys a first down now, and they are all the way down to the 26-yard line of Los Angeles.
You know, Robert Williams that time made a nice catch on that ball. It was thrown a little bit high, but he made the catch and provided them with the opportunity to move the chains. But the key was Peete. He saw the pressure and got rid of the ball quickly.
Ten and a half minutes to go in the third quarter. The Raiders up by 11. Here's Wilson, the man who made that catch, in motion. Peete, here's a rush from Jerry Ball. He gets away from it. Now chased from behind and brought down. Andre Bruce is the man making the tackle on Peete after a gain of about 3 on the play.
Good angle in making that tackle on the play.
2nd and 7. At the 23. Peete looks right, then he goes upfield. Incomplete. Intended for Tim Daniel.
Number 500%, but the distance with the receptions is dramatically different.
Both out of USC. From different generations. They blow it dead. motion penalty here coming against
False
Dallas.
start. Offense. Number 9 came out without the ball. 5-yard penalty. Repeat third.
Do the best we can, but we're not going to play many of our top people. We don't want to take a chance of getting them hurt. The only thing that's important to us is to make sure we're going to be healthy when the bell rings. And so that's why we haven't seen Evan Smith, Urban, Harper.
Now, I thought Mills moved that football, the center.
False start. Offense. Number 74. 5-yard penalty. Remain third down.
See if the center moved the football there. He sure did, and they didn't call the penalty on him. They called it on 74, the guard next to him. But it was Toby Mills, the center, who moved that football back a few inches. And that's when 74, Cesar Renti, moved.
Yeah, that was a flagrant thing. It's very obvious that he moved it. Talking about the center.
Now it's 3rd and 17. Cowboys moving backwards. From the 34, Rodney Peete over the middle, has a completion. Kevin Williams, little juke, gets him some extra yardage down to the 17-yard line. Close to the first down. Raiders were claiming a fumble. The official said no, it was down, and let's watch the mark of the football.
Kevin Williams, 85, comes inside. The ball is thrown right in front, where it has to be thrown in front of the numbers. He reached and made the catch and made a nice gain in the play.
Trapp, Bates, Fredrickson all combining on the tackle. Now the measurement. Stretch out the chains. That is close. Wow. Got it. Here.
I'm going to tell you something about Art Shell. He's really got this team humming. I was impressed with the way they practiced, the way they were organized. Very fine coaching staff. And he's got them believing very strongly in their skill and ability.
That pass by Peete intercepted in the end zone by Dan Land. Dan Land, the 7th-year veteran defensive back for the Raiders out of Albany State.
Foul. Number 92 on the defense. After the interception, half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Farrah Collins is the man who was called for a personal foul, but the key there is it came after the interception, so the interception stands, and Dan Land makes the big play for the Raiders.
Number 25. In the left. Receiving the right corner of the picture. Ball is thrown over the top. Well, we didn't see it.
Land made the nice interception. Farrah Collins, the man called for the personal foul. And now, Hank, we're going to see for the Raiders Billy Joe Hobart at the quarterback position. 2nd-year player out of Washington, Billy Joe Hobart. Now back to the last play.
There we see the interception. Retreats in good shape, good anticipation, catches the ball in the end zone, downs it. And the Raiders are in business. They have possession, 1st and 10, and Hobart is a quarterback.
We'll talk about Billy Joe when we return. 8:24 to go, 3rd quarter. Raiders lead at 29. Los Angeles Raiders. All right, it's Billy Joe time for the Los Angeles Raiders. 2nd-year quarterback out of Washington. He's 6'3", 225 pounds. He's up over center now. Man snapping in the football is Dan Turk, and he's giving it to Calvin Jones. Jones brought down by Brownlow.
Second line is in there offensively for the Raiders. And Strepanek, the right tackle, has got a lot of work here tonight, and they want to give it as much attention and as much work as they possibly can. He's missed a lot of work.
Calvin Jones last week carried the ball 9 times for 31 yards. Gets the ball again, running behind the blocking of Derek Gaynor. Gets out across the 15-yard line. Up to the 16, short gain, and it'll be 3rd and 4. Hank, what did you think of the running of Calvin Jones last week in Barcelona?
I like him. I like him. He weighs 210, played his collegiate football at Nebraska, but he doesn't run. He doesn't look like a 210 runner. You know, he really looks like a guy about 5'8", 5'9", quickness and speed. He looks like he's about 185 or 90, but he weighs 210. He's good.
Those were Billy Joe's numbers from last week as he throws on the run out to the right side, intended for Glover, incomplete. Gilbert was 4 of 6 a week ago, as you saw. Did a good job in engineering the Raiders in the fourth quarter in the overtime, but that one was incomplete, and we have an injured Raider. Down on the field, we'll try to pick up the number for you, but the official's standing right. It is Robert Jenkins, offensive lineman. Struggling now to his feet. And Rod Martin there, you see the Raider trainer on the left helping him off. Let's see if we can pick this up.
On the left side there, your left, there's 64. See what happens here.
Looks like he ran into his own man, it looks like.
That's exactly what happened.
But he's walking off the field now under his own power. Doesn't need help, probably just banged the knee a little bit. And the Raiders are going to have to punt now on 4th down with 7:15 to go in the third quarter. They lead this preseason game 20-9. He joined us late, Jeff Hostetler, with a 34-yard touchdown pass to Ty Montgomery. Also, the Raiders got a big touchdown pass to Rocket Ismail in the second quarter of 54 yards. Here's Gossett's punt. He lines one toward the left sideline, taken there by Kevin Williams, skips by a man, gets an opening across midfield and driven out of bounds at the 47-yard line of Los Angeles. A 43-yard punt by Gossett, a 10-yard return. Rob Holmberg, the man who made the tackle. The guy's accurate because he completed 62%, but then again, he had a 2-for-1 interception to touchdown ratio. Reach out around the left side, goes to Mark Mason, the little running back out of Maryland. Driven out of bounds. And a flag down.
Trapp did a good job of coming over and making a tackle. Number 37.
We'll wait and see what the call is as the officials huddle along the Raiders sideline.
Face mask, 5 yards on the defense. Must get back to the line of scrimmage. Repeat first down.
There you see Trapp coming over and making a tackle.
They will repeat first down on the play. The official said he must get back to the line of scrimmage, which he did not, so they'll just repeat the first down. Pete gives the ball to Coleman. Tried to cut back, but he didn't get much. Jerry Ball makes the tackle for Los Angeles. Raiders tonight defensively have held the Cowboys under 100 yards, and they've taken the ball away a couple of times and sacked their quarterbacks 3 times.
Yeah, when we talked about how good they're playing, Jerry Ball's in there. He was in that last play. Did a good job last week in Barcelona, and he got a good play right there in the last play. Good penetration, number 93.
Yeah, he's tough in the middle. He's a real run stuffer, but he showed last week he can still get to the quarterback as well. Pete gives it to Coleman. Coleman straight up the middle. Across the 45 down to the 42-yard line. Knocked down by Hendrickson, kind of a wild man, and Patrick Bates. Hendrickson has quite a reputation as a guy who can do just about anything. He's with San Diego. He played halfback, running back, H-back, tight end, linebacker. Here, linebacker with the Raiders. Ball at the 41-yard line of Los Angeles, 3rd and 4. Fans trying to drum up some noise here to encourage the Cowboys. They've been pretty well stuffed by the Raider defense so far tonight. Pete, short drop over the middle. Nice pass to Willie Jackson. There were Raider defenders all around Jackson, and Pete got it in there to him.
Oh, you talk about he had the radar hooked up to that.
To make the stop. Cowboys have got something going now. 1st and 10 at the Raider 32. Play action and a rollout by Pete. Has a completed pass and a short gain. Pick up on the play of 5. 4.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Now the tight end on the left side this time. Pete gives it to Lincoln Coleman. Struggles out of a tackle attempt by Jerry Ball and then dives forward. And a penalty flag again. Going to be holding this time against Dallas, though. There's John Fox calling the defensive signals for the Raiders.
He's massaging that gum, isn't he?
He's working it pretty good.
And again, he calls the play for the defense.
Number 7
for the Raiders.
10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
A holding penalty was called on center Dale Hellestray. You might remember signed with the Raiders back in 1989, but suffered a broken leg. Later on, he was traded. Heats pass, incomplete. Willie Jackson, diving catch, dropped it, and again a flag is down.
Good protection on the part of the Cowboys in that last play. Had plenty of time to throw the football.
Well, they were facing a 3rd and 15, and I think they're going to march him back even further. Again, a hold against the Cowboys.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Number 74, 10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Cesar Renti, 74, the man called for it. Now he's got Farrah Cowlins wrapped up pretty good by the face mask.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he had the cleavers on him that time. No question about it. Good call by the officials.
Now it is 2nd and 25. All the way back to the 48-yard line. Pressure from Brutt. Unloads it, does Pete, in a short gain. Judd Garrett making the reception on the play. Rob Holmberg, who's been quite active, making the tackle for the Raiders. Holmberg, one of 3 linebackers drafted by the Raiders in this year's draft in only 7 rounds.
You know, the other thing about Holmberg, boy, he's got great speed. Watching him in practice, he's got terrific lateral speed. He's a tremendous prospect. He played his collegiate football at Penn State.
Not as handsome as you, though, Hank.
You think they'll ever develop some linebackers in that school?
At linebacker, you? Pete's pass again to Garrett, gets away from Fredrickson, and down to the 33-yard line. Nice move because was able to get away from Fredrickson, and Trapp made the tackle. That's Judd Garrett. Their 3rd-string quarterback is Jason Garrett.
Here we see Garrett making the reception. Looking for a place to fall. Tries to cut back, but he holds onto the ball in good shape. Good possession.
And now a 50-yard field goal attempt will be made by Richie Cunningham. One is going to not quite get there. It is just short. And now the ball will come back as a result of the new rule all the way to the 40-yard line. Great chance at good field position for LA.
Yeah, he had to eat a little bit more oatmeal to get that ball over there.
Rather than the line of scrimmage to the 40-yard line. What do you think of this rule?
Well, I think it's a good rule. I think we'll see more people going for first downs on that kind of a situation. If it's going to mean that kicking a long kick and maybe missing it and giving them possession like they do.
Here's Billy Joe Hobart back to pass for Los Angeles. He looks for and finds Derek Gainer on the right side, and it goes right through Derek's hands. Now, Derek Gainer, like Kevin Gogan, was with the Dallas Cowboys last year.
He's a big, strong fullback, a good blocker, and a strong straight-ahead runner.
Of course, behind Emmitt Smith, not too many guys carrying the ball last year for Dallas. Gainer had 6 carries, 6 receptions as well. Previously was with the Raiders. Here's Calvin Jones, off left tackle, and he has a short pickup of about 3 before he's brought down.
I tell you, that Dallas defense is quick. They responded. He had a pretty good hole there, but by the time the back got there, why they responded and made a gang tackle.
Studstill, Marion, and Keith Poe, the man you're looking at there, number 93 on the tackle.
Third down, 7 at the moment.
Raiders lead by 11, 2 minutes to go, third quarter. It's 3rd and 7 now for the silver and black. Billy Joe Hobart, the quarterback, sends Andrew Glover from the left side over to the right side of his tight end position. Hobart, 5-step drop. Pass incomplete. Appeared to be tipped. Intended for Glover. Well, the Raiders, you know, this is a good athlete here, Andrew Glover, Hank, and I'd like to see them figure out a way to work him in. Of course, those awesome foursome that they got at the wide receiver, you're tempted to go with everything to them.
Yeah, I was looking for a little bit more of that tonight too, thinking that maybe they would get the ball to the tight ends more. The game's, you know, we still got a long way to go in the game. We might see that before it's over with, but he's got to get some business. Get some confidence catching the ball, and he does a good job running the ball once he does catch it.
Clayton Holmes back now to get the punt of Gossett, and he fields it at the 10-yard line. Going from the left to the right side, being chased there. Now he finds a big lane, the wide opening. Up to the 40. Gossett waiting for him at the 50. He misses him, but then he's brought down from behind after a big return. A 48-yard punt and 48-yard return before Steve Hendrickson finally made the tackle on Clayton Holmes. Let's see if that inspires the Cowboys, and the Raiders will try to hold them off. 1:28 to go in the third. Raiders still lead by 11. With a lot of his name with a lot of wins next to a couple of great coaches there above him.
Well, he was a great coach too, you know, and I don't think the days of Tom Landry with his 28 years of experience with the Cowboys, I don't think those days will ever be seen again. I think they make great changes with coaches, and it'll be very, very unusual for coaches to be able to stay at one place that long. I think
Hostetler and Glover will be starting for the Raiders this year. He steps up in the pocket. He wants to run, and he's brought down by Jerry Ball, who really looks good. Ball has had a nice career. He was with Detroit from 1987 through 92, and then with Cleveland last year. He was signed in July by the Raiders as an unrestricted free agent, and he is a tough, tough guy. He can really stuff up that middle.
Yeah, here's another good shot of the Polaroid shot. It used to be we have to put it. Back in the old days, we had to put it on the string for the press box and roll it down to the sideline to see those pictures. Now they got a machine. They got a little humperdinck right on the field there, spits out the picture, and there you got the Polaroid picture. It's great.
Humperdinck being the operative word in that description, folks. Offside called up against the Raiders. Said that the Raiders lined up in the neutral zone. That's something else that the officials say they're going to enforce this year. 5 yards on that, so it's 2nd and 2 now. He gives it to Lincoln Coleman, and he is short of the first down. Coleman hit first by Jerry Ball.
A good picture of the left side of the offensive line of the Cowboys, illustrating the rule this year where the lineman can move back a little bit deeper in the lineman.
I guess that'll give them about 8 inches or so more where they can back off of that ball. All right, third quarter has come to an end there. 1 quarter to play. The Raiders hanging on to the same lead that they had at intermission at halftime. It's the Raiders 20, the Dallas Cowboys 9. And a short crew cut going, Tom Rathman. He could be a scary-looking character coming at you, Hank.
And look at that haircut he's got. Looks like he put his head in the pencil sharper, and they turned it about 3 times.
Oh, is he going to help the Raiders this year? What a quality ball player Tom Rathman is. Lincoln Coleman ducks underneath the tackle. Nice job by Coleman to get whatever he did there. Ball had great penetration. And having a little trouble getting up, in fact, is Jerry Ball. Now he struggles to his feet, and Coleman ducked underneath him to pick up the first down. Third quarter stats now. The total yardage very much in the favor of the Los Angeles Raiders at the end of 3 periods of play.
Third down, look at conversions. That's impressive. 6 of 8. Cowboys are just 4 for 10. Turnovers, 2 for the Cowboys. Zippo for the Raiders. Art Shell talking to him today. He feels very, very good about his team. I was impressed with the attitude of the team going on the trip last week. The attitude has been terrific.
Here's Pete in trouble, chased by Broughton, now chased again by Collins, and finally is brought down. That is the 4th sack tonight. And finally, the man that got him was Austin Robbins, Raider rookie. But that was great pressure, though, by the Raiders. 3 different players had a shot at him, and finally Austin Robbins brought him down.
And again, they're getting good, very good penetration. And they're getting a good effort, consistent effort here tonight from both sides of the football and their whole team.
Cowboys in the I formation this time. Pete clear out to Lincoln Coleman, and he is going nowhere. Brian Jones. That Rocket can do just about everything with that football, it looks like.
Hands. Pretty nifty, isn't it?
Third down, 11.
Reminds me of you. I saw you fooling around like that.
Yeah, with a ping pong ball.
And that was too big for your hand.
3rd and 11. Raiders actually, the Cowboys losing on that play. Pass play to Coleman. Now this one intended for Hill. Now they're going to call pass interference. Darren Butler made the play, and he is going to be flagged for pass interference.
Defense, number 39, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Very close. 9 of the previous 13 games. And they've also won 3 out of 5 in their regular season series. Estelle in motion, the give to Coleman, straight up the middle. Broughton brings him down. Short gain, gained maybe 2 yards on the play. 2nd and 8 at the 25. Rodney Pete, you see, looking to the sideline for a signal. Now the Cowboy quarterbacks, Hank, do not use the coach to quarterback transmitter on the headsets.
Well, Aikman doesn't like it. He likes what they've done in the past with the hand signals, and that relationship has been very, very good. He doesn't want to change, and he didn't want to listen to people talking in his ear while he's thinking about the next play, and that's why he doesn't like it and doesn't use it.
Pete's still deciding whether he wanted to use it. Was under big pressure there, got the ball away, and a nice completion to Wilson. Holmberg on the stop, and another first down for Dallas.
The pocket, you drop off, he's got the ability to run and take off and make yardage, and if they come up, they can throw it, just like he did on the last play.
Coleman off the right side, not much. Gain of about 1.
Out of this team as he possibly can. They're going to have a good shot at it, but the key is going to be able to stay healthy.
He's passing the right side, complete to Coleman. He dives forward. Holmberg grabbing him in midair to bring him down. Holmberg has been a very active linebacker tonight for the Raiders. For the Raiders along that defensive line. 3rd and 3. Coleman met in the backfield and brought down. Great play by Austin Robbins, the Raider rookie, who got terrific penetration to slow him up, and then a host of Raiders knocked him off his feet.
Robbins really got a good jump off the ball. Number 95, watching. Look at that. Comes off the ball. And anytime you get penetration, you're trying to go sideways, you're going to have a problem. Austin Robbins, 6'6", 295.
The Raiders are called for 12 men in the field. As I mentioned, I thought Willie Broughton got in there a little bit late. He might have been that 12th man. And so now the Cowboys pick up a first down, and they've got 1st and goal coming at the 5-yard line. Just inside the 5, actually. Raiders have been penalized 13 times for 87 yards. They were the most penalized team in the NFL last year. Timeout now called by the Dallas Cowboys. That's their first timeout. As a result of that penalty, they get a first down.
We might see a play-action pass here on 1st and 10. Let's see what they do.
Tony Richardson has moved in at fullback. They give it to Coleman, and Coleman is wrapped up in the backfield. Again, Austin Robbins making the play.
Boy, Robbins, number 95, came across there again. Great penetration by Robbins. On the left side of your screen. There he is, coming across the line of scrimmage and making contact right at the hole. Beautiful job by Robbins.
Well, Alberto White in the first half and Austin Robbins there in the second half. Raider youngsters trying to open the eyes of the coaches here and try to see if they can get their name on the final 53-man roster. Now they offset the backs. They send Hill in motion. Pete wants to throw, and it's knocked into the air. Pete nearly catches the ball, but knocks it away, actually. Good defense by the Raiders. It's gotten very quiet here at Texas Stadium, even though the Cowboys have this drive going.
Well, here's the hands, comes up on the inside.
That was Robbins again.
Robbins, 95 again. That's exactly who it was.
Third and goal now from the 8-yard line. You find those Raider fans everywhere. Every city you go into, they show up. And they normally are in that silver and black. Pete's pass incomplete. Intended for Judd Garrett over on the left side. Jones working defensively against him. That's Brian Jones as opposed to the other linebacker Jones, who was Mike Jones for the Raiders. And they'll go for 3 points now. If they get the 3, that would put them within 8. And now, of course, in the NFL, that's within 1 touchdown. If you can get within 8 points.
Yeah, then all they need is a field goal to get back in the game and tie it, right?
Well, they need the 2-point conversion, of course.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Here's the field goal attempt, and that can get them within 8.
Well, they could fake it.
25-yard field goal attempt is good. So they added 3 more, and now the Cowboys basically are within 1 touchdown and a 2-point conversion, but the Raiders still leading. 9:47 to go, 20-12. Plus games against Atlanta, Houston, New Orleans, and Pittsburgh. Call now, 310-322-5901. They're standing by to take your calls. Here's the kickoff, fumbled. Recovered by the Raiders, though. Randy Jordan got the ball back just in time at the last second at the 20-yard line. Whoa, there was potential disaster on that play. There are the 2 Jordan kids, Charles and Randy. They bumped together, and Randy chases it down, got the ball into his hands, and he was nailed by Studstill.
That's a great illustration of a lack of communication back there on that kind of a play. Somebody's got to say, I got it, I got it, I got it. Or me, you. But they've got to make sure that they're clear on that fire in their eagerness to try to pass and have an opportunity to break a kickback. They can make that kind of a mistake, which they did.
Calvin Jones gets the handoff from Billy Joe Hobart over right tackle as a short pickup of about 2 yards. Looks like Dave Thomas will be all right, just shaking up a little bit.
And Keith Moe.
Yeah.
Second and 8 now at the 23. The Raiders leading at 20-12. Rich Moran along with Hank Stram. Next week, the Raiders in Pittsburgh. Here's Calvin Jones in motion. Hobart straight back. Airing it out, going deep. He's got Jordan out there. Jordan's got it, and he's off to the races. 77-yard touchdown Raiders. Charles Jordan.
Pass complete to number 86, Raheem Ismail.
They have announced Rocket Ismail here in the stadium, but that is Charles Jordan who made the catch.
And Hobart did a good now. He's on a line of scrimmage with supposed to be a bump and run, but there's no bump whatsoever. He's pushing him a little bit with the right hand, but he got the ball right in stride, never had to look back whatsoever, right on the money by Hobart, and goes into the end zone for the touchdown. Another great illustration of the lightning power of the Los Angeles Raiders.
Would you say there's a little depth at the wide receiver spot at this football team? Oh, man. A point after is good by Jaeger. The Raiders now have opened up a 15-point lead over the Dallas Cowboys. 8:56 to go in the ball game. After that 77-yard pass completion to Charles Jordan, the Raiders lead 27-12.
And it started with good pass protection, plenty of time to throw the ball, and a great throw by Hobart, the young quarterback. Boy, I think he's going to be something special.
Just playing back in LA?
I'll let you know about
2:25, eh?
6'2".
6'3". There's a pretty happy quarterback, number 12, and a pretty happy wide receiver, Charles Jordan, after that pass completion for a touchdown. That was Billy Joe Hobart's first completion tonight. Kick return taken by Clayton Holmes. He's done a good job tonight, but he's going to be dragged down by Jones this time very quickly as he got across the 30-yard line. Brian Jones with the tackle. Billy Joe Hobart looking very good, Hank, this so far in the first two preseason games for the Raiders. Good size. You know, he led Washington to 17 straight wins his last 2 years in college.
Oh, yeah, and he was very impressive in Barcelona, and he's following up right where he left off a week ago.
New quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. It is Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, he wears number 17. There he is, 6'2", 195, second-year player out of Princeton. Actually played in the regular season some last year, backing up Troy Aikman, but then when Bernie Kosar came in, that was all for Jason. He's chased out of the pocket, on the move to the left, and pushed out of bounds. Rob Holmberg, again, chasing the man out. Holmberg should dominate those defensive statistics tonight for the Raiders.
Well, you know, we talked about him a little while ago. He's got very, very good lateral speed. He's a good-looking prospect.
Now they had a man open on the play, begging for the ball. Second and 9 now. And they give us to Mason, who tries to get away from Brian Jones and can't. Squirms forward for maybe a yard pickup. Jones gets up limping a little bit. Mark Mason, only 5'7", 189 yards. There's Brian Jones limping off the field. He stopped Mason after a very short gain. Skidding along that artificial turf.
Yeah, that's what did it.
From the 35, Garrett under pressure. Can't get the completion. It was intended for Judd Garrett. And incomplete. It was a short 1, 2, 3 and out for the Dallas Cowboys. And Texas Stadium, which was filled before, is emptying out rapidly, with the Raiders holding on to a 27-12 lead.
Yeah, they look like they're escaping from the premises in a hurry.
Charles Jordan back now to receive this punt from John Jett. It's a high spinning punt. Jordan all the way back to his 15 to get it. Fakes left, goes right across the 20 up to the 24. Fumbles the football. Was it down? I believe so. A 50-yard punt by Jett and a 10-yard return by Jordan.
Yeah, look at this now. Look at the games on the road in preseason. They're going to play 8 games when they get into the season, into the 3rd game of the season, and 7 of those games are going to be away from home. It's amazing how well they have playing on the road. Talk about going around the world in 80 days. These Raiders have flown equivalent to around the world in 5 preseason games, 25,000 miles. It's incredible. Wow. But it's tough when you don't have a team in your own stadium to play in at home. And that's exactly what the situation is. But they say that they definitely will be able to play September 11th.
That's right.
Against Seattle.
All the assurances have been made.
Coliseum.
Coliseum is going to be safe, and it will be at full capacity.
Right.
Calvin Jones with a short gain on that play up to the 25-yard line. I'm looking forward to getting there September 11th for that home opener against Seattle. Be interesting to see what Tom Flores has up there. I think the Seahawks are going to be improved.
Well, the other thing we talked about playing on the road, it was demonstrated successfully last year because they were the only team in the Western Division of the American Football Conference to have a winning record on the road.
That pass completion to Kevin Smith. Your point is well taken, Hank. The Raiders had the same record on the road that they had at home, 5-3 in each spot last year. Of course, last year they had to play all those road games in the preseason too.
Well, you know, it's important to be able to win games on the road, but it's also very important to hear the roar of the crowd of your own people at your own stadium. They won't get a chance to do that until they get back there on September 11th.
3rd and 2 for the Raiders now. Charles Jordan comes in motion and goes back the other way. Hobart under pressure, unloads, and it's incomplete. And a penalty flag thrown. Jeff Hostetler, big smile. He'll be the man at the controls for the Raiders when the regular season starts, barring injury.
Number 38 on the defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty called against the Dallas Cowboys against Tommy Jones for illegal contact. You know, there's a great attitude of almost elation among these Raider players as the season is getting started here. They're very anxious to get going, Hank. They're a confident team. I think they feel they're good, and they're excited about playing football.
Yeah, I think they feel good. You know, I think the chemistry of this football team is very impressive. The attitude is very good. They've worked extremely hard. I was impressed with one of the practice sessions in Barcelona last week. They practiced 3 hours on a Friday afternoon when normally it's a short practice session. And after the practice session, they just said the man wanted us to work overtime, and we worked overtime. We got a lot of good things done. We needed the work, but that was the attitude. A lot of times they'd be squeaking about that, working that hard, but they didn't at all. They relished the opportunity to try to get better as a football team with that long practice.
Well, the Raiders called for a motion penalty and been marked back 5 yards. It's now 1st and 15 for the Raiders with the ball in their own 33-yard line. Raiders leading 27-12 over the Dallas Cowboys. They give to Derek Gainer, the former Cowboy, and he is gang tackled at the 35-yard line. The Raiders will be at Pittsburgh next week, then take on the LA Rams at Anaheim Stadium before closing out the preseason against the Houston Oilers. How about that first regular season game? Raiders at the 49ers on Monday night.
Yeah, that'll be a terrific game. I think everybody's talking about the 49ers being the team to beat in the Western Division. I really think that that particular game is going to be very revealing. And I think basically in the past, why the Raiders have always done a good job against the 49ers because they're such a big, strong, powerful team, a sledgehammer team, and the 49ers are more of a finesse team.
That second down run was by Calvin Jones, 5 yards up the right sideline. Tommy Jones making the tackle for Dallas. One thing is sure, Hank, is a Raiders vertical attack, the big play, very, very much alive. Look at these pass plays of the Raiders the last 2 weeks.
Well, you know, we touched on that a little while ago. I think the coaches and talking to Al Davis and Art Shell and all the coaches, assistant coaches, they feel that they know that they can throw the ball and make big plays. I think they really want to work on a lot in preseason. Along with that, is the running game.
But on this pass play, it is intercepted by Brock Marion, and he is down. The 3rd and 7 pass by Billy Joe Hobart, intercepted by Marion. Down he went at the 48-yard line, and Dallas will take over. With 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, the Cowboys trail by 15 points. Keep the 2-point conversion in mind should they possibly get a score, but they're running out of time. Raiders lead it by 15. Okay. Don't forget, more exciting Raider preseason action returns to KCAL Sports Saturday afternoon at 3 in the afternoon, live from Three Rivers Stadium. Jeff Hostetler and the Raiders take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here tonight, the Raiders are leading the Dallas Cowboys 27-12. Cowboys have it 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. In Dallas territory, Jason Garrett throwing too low, intended for Tony Richardson. Richardson, 6'1", 224 yards, out of Auburn. Guy with great speed, who's played fullback, trying to make a transition to the halfback position. We have an injured Raider now. Down, face down. It's Willie Broughton. Here comes H-Rod Martin. Raider trainer out with Dr. Fred Nicola, Raider physician. And here comes George Anderson right behind him. George Anderson, the Raider trainer, is in this 35th anniversary year, and there you see George bending over on the left side. He is the only man who has been in the organization all 35 years of the Raiders. George Anderson's actually been with them a couple years longer than Al Davis has been with the Raiders.
And he's very proud of that. He loves it.
Member of the National Trainers Hall of Fame, George Anderson, steeped in silver and black. The crowd at maybe 15, 20,000 here after it opened up with about 60,000 in attendance. Raiders on top by 15 points. They've utilized the big play tonight. Long bombs to get this big lead. Hill in motion. Hand off right side, Mark Mason. The 5'7", 189-pound youngster is brought down by Brabham in the backfield. He might have got past the line of scrimmage. Toya. Oh, what a great veteran he has been. He's in a backup role this year with the Raiders on the offensive line. Max in his 16th year out of UCLA, 38 years old. Actually retired for a brief time at the end of last season. Here's a big rush and another sack for Alberto White. Here's Willie Broughton going off, holding that right hand of his. The attendance tonight was 61,552. 61,552, but a lot fewer than that in attendance now. Broughton will get to the locker room early, get that hand x-rayed.
I think he banged it on the synthetic turf.
That's not usually how you equate turf and injuries. Wrist injuries or arm injuries. Very possible. Here's the punt by Jeb. Fair catch called for by Charles Jordan. He makes it, and the Raiders now trying to work on that clock some. It has only 2:49 to go, and they're about ready to put preseason victory number 2 in the bank. Steve Wisniewski of the Raiders. Here's a guy who's been to the Pro Bowl the last 4 years. Standing next to his new line mate, Kevin Gogan, on his right side. Jeff Hostetler right behind him.
Coach, can I go back in? Go back in the locker room,
A lot of smiles along that Raider sideline right now. Raiders, of course, in the past really have not been known for winning a lot of preseason games. They go to a plan, they stick to a plan during the course of the preseason, which is develop the team and improve each week and be ready for the regular season. But it appears they'll go 2-0 now. We have a penalty flag thrown on that punt, which is the reason for the delay here. And the Cowboys looking to try to get the right personnel on the field, and also whether to.
Well, you know, here again, we talked about how good they looked last week.
12 men
in their
receiving
initial
team.
game of the
Penalties
preseason.
decline. First down.
This week is an extension of what they did last week, but they look much better overall. Better organized, look better, stronger physically, especially offensively and defensively. They've been able to incorporate the big play in their offense, which they have a lot of confidence in. They were able to run the ball decently, and they come out of this game, it looks like, without any serious injuries. And there again, that's a very important part of the whole scheme in preseason. They got to feel good about the way they played, especially from a physical standpoint.
Billy Joe Hobart is going, and he's getting his tight end Kevin Smith, and he's moving him from the left side over to the right side. And he sends Randy Jordan in motion and gives the ball to Derek Gainer. And a flag and a play. And here in the last few minutes, it's getting very ragged now, and they're showing a lot more preseason type penalties that we're getting and mistakes. Motion penalty signaled here against the Raiders.
I think Kevin Smith was onside that last time. He moved a little bit before the ball was snapped.
Kevin Smith, formerly from UCLA. He played fullback at UCLA. Converted to a tight end position. The Raiders have done a great job down through the years in converting running backs or fullbacks into the tight end position. There's a couple of Hall of Famers for you. Fred Biletnikoff on the left, Art Shell on the right. The call on the offense comes down, by the way, from Tom Walsh in the press box down to Fred Biletnikoff.
Right.
And Biletnikoff is the man who actually makes the call to the quarterback, although Art Shell can hear the original call from Tom Walsh, so if he wants to say anything about the play or veto the play, he can do just that.
Well, talking to Tom this morning, he's very happy about the new system, and he thinks it's working out very well. The communication system last week was very good, he thought, and they're going to continue to do it, I'm sure, and do it better and better every week.
That was a 2nd and 8 play. Barry Switzer not smiling right now.
You know, the Raiders have 15 assistant coaches, and really watching them work, you have to be very impressed with the way they work, the detail, and the teaching process. I really think they've done a terrific job with this team so far.
The Raiders are letting the clock run down now to the 2-minute warning, and then the officials will stop the game at that point. There's Emmitt Smith, who hasn't done much more apparently recently at practice, they say, than swing a golf club around and practice his golf swing. But you know, Emmitt will be there on opening day. All right, 2 minutes to play. There's the 2-minute warning. Raiders lead it 27-12.
On the outside. We've seen the famed vertical passing attack from Los Angeles. The Raiders are, they gave unpredictability a good name last year. They would lose to Cincinnati and then come back 7 days later and beat Buffalo. I think the Raiders would have been a genuine contender last year had Al Davis not chased Marcus Allen to Kansas City. Of course, Marcus led the NFL in rushing touchdowns for the Chiefs. Nice play defensively, didn't wrap, but Jordan goes down. Keith Poe with the tackle.
Poe had a chance to make it even better play and couldn't quite get him in the.
Now it's the Jerry and Barry show.
Well, I'm sure I think Barry is telling him, don't worry about it. We didn't have our top guys in the ball game. You know, they're a very fine football team. We'll be better if we can get all of our people back and play them. I'm sure that's what he's trying to convey, probably to Jerry Jones, who's probably in shock about what's happened here tonight.
Gossett to punt for the Raiders. Raider defense tonight. It's been a big part. 5 sacks, 2 interceptions. Ball taken by Hill. He comes across the 40 and down to the 36-yard line. Hendrickson and Brabham making the tackle for the Raiders. 1:06 remaining in the ball game. Next week, the Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Raiders home opener, don't forget, September 11th at the Coliseum against the Seattle Seahawks. Down on the sideline, Max Montoya. Whipping off that helmet. Max was named to the Pro Bowl last year for the 4th time. And that's not bad. 38 years old and he gets named to the Pro Bowl. Here's Mark Mason around the left side. Flags come flying again. It's almost every play now, it seems, that the flags are coming out.
I talked to Jerry Seaman talking about flags, in charge of officials, and talked to him before the game about some of the new rules, and he feels that they're going to be a big asset and help the game considerably, especially from a fan reaction standpoint. The kickoff return, the field goal moving back to the point of the kick.
The Raiders didn't even need heroics from Tim Brown tonight. Well, I tell you, when you win, Hank, everything is great. Mike Alexander right in front where with Tim Brown. Alberto White has had a big night, number 96. Steve Ortmeyer blowing the bubbles, Raiders special team coach.
And he's one of the very best in the business, too. He's very creative and does a good job with those special teams.
46-yard line. Jason Garrett, the quarterback. Going up top, looking for Hill. He's got him at the 12-yard line. First down, Dallas. Clock is running. 47 seconds to play. Joe King.
That happens a lot. There are 2 guys back here to make a play, but the ball was underthrown, and usually that's what happens. He'll come back to make the catch, which he did on the last play. 35-yard pass completion to Shelby Hill, the rookie out of Syracuse, an undrafted free agent. Picks up 35 on that. 25 seconds to go. Cowboys running out of time. Nice slant-in pass. Completed to Judd Garrett. Brabham making the tackle. Timeout Dallas, but there's only 11 seconds on. 11 seconds remaining. Raiders lead 27 to 12. Dallas with the football at the 8-yard line to Jason Garrett. Throws right side, has a man, it's a touchdown, Dallas. Judd Garrett. Garrett to Garrett. 8-yard touchdown pass. Garrett to Garrett.
There's Jason with the throw, Judd with the catch and the run. Into the end zone, touchdown. Now, had they more time than 6 seconds, they could possibly go for 2, but they won't here. 27-18. They're just going for 1 point. This is Bonial. Will go for 1. Basically, they've got 2 kickers here competing for a job against each other, and that's probably why they're going to go ahead and let Bonial kick the extra point, which he does. He kicks it through to get the Cowboys a little bit closer. 8 points down at 27-19. Six seconds to go.
And in conference for a long time on that sideline, Jerry Jones and Barry Switzer. I see some wax dripping out of Barry Switzer's ear on his shirt.
Raiders and the Dallas Cowboys. You know, there have been 28 Super Bowls played so far, and these 2 teams have won 7 of the 20. That's 1/4 of the Super Bowls have been won by the 2 organizations that we're seeing competing here this evening. The Cowboys with 4, the Raiders with 3.
I think the Cowboys are going to get a lot of competition from Phoenix this year, too. They're going to be a good team.
Yes, I would agree. There's a lot of excitement over Buddy Ball right now in Arizona. I'll tell you one thing about Buddy, whether you like him or not, apparently he can sell tickets. Cowboys now all converging on the left side of the field for the onside kick. Making sure they all get onside. Ball goes out of bounds. One of the Raiders was leaping for it there as it went out.
The ball was caught in bounds, first down.
Raiders ball.
So the Raiders can run one play and then go home with a second victory in this preseason.
Well, they'll enjoy the ride home, won't they?
They certainly will, and with good reason. Anthony Smith walking behind Greg Skrepinett. Anthony has had 36 quarterback sacks in the last 3 years of action. That's not a bad start to a career. And Billy Joe Hobart will take this last snap from center. Manzurk gives the ball. Billy Joe waits for the clock to run out, then goes, doesn't even have to go to a knee. The officials blow the whistle, and that's it. Whistle sounds, gun goes off, and the Los Angeles Raiders have emerged with a victory here in week number 2 of the preseason. The final score, the Los Angeles Raiders 27 and the Dallas Cowboys 19.